fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Work in progress, WIP, is what we're doing today. I'm working on my Chuck Pinson for this month's Chuck Along. I have never done a Chuck Pinson before, and so I'm kind of excited. It's been slow going. I haven't had as much time to work on it as I would have wanted, but I'm going to be working on it now. I think maybe I've kind of finally hit maybe my stride here, at least with this bottom section. So eager to get that finished, and then I have one more week of work, and then I'm off on spring break, and pretty much all I'm going to be doing during spring break is diamond painting. So I do have a couple of other things I need to finish, but I'm going to be working on this to get some things done. So yeah, I'm just going to jump in. So I think I have everything set up. I think I have everything pulled that I'm going to need. I have a tray. I have my pens. I have my pretty placer for my AB drills because I have trouble doing that with a regular pen. I have my Elizabeth Ward storage. I've got my timer, so I think I'm ready to go. So I'm going to be working on this section right here. You can see I've reached this little boat. There's a couple of seagulls off over here on the side that you can't see, and some of the ground. So now I'm finishing up this little boat and then moving on. So I'll zoom you in just a minute. You guys, I'm so sad. I was using we have a handle on this tips, and I broke my four placer, which is my favorite one. My own fault. It was in the pen and I felt like it was kind of crooked, and so I tried to straighten it, and I just must have used too much force and it just snapped off. So much so that I couldn't even get the bottom part of it, the holder part, out of the pen. So I lost a diamond painting pen too. So luckily I had some picked out to order on Amazon, so I have a couple of more pens on the way to me. So for now, I'm just going to be using one of my plastic multi-placers. The 4-placer is my favorite, so I'm just going to stick with the plastic one for now. And one of my fancy French pens. So let me take a drink here. And then I will get started. So let me pull up a chair. Oops, before I pull up my chair, let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. Make any adjustments for the camera. Maybe that's a little too close. Let me back that out a little bit. Okay. All right. Let me start my timer here. So, oh goodness, you guys, so much stuff has been going on. Let's see, where do I want to start? Let me pick a drill and get started, so while I'm talking, I can be doing that. So, yeah, just so much going on. We got my oldest moved last weekend. Still a few pieces left over here and there that we need to get done. They were too big to just fit in regular cars, and we have an SUV, but our SUV started making funny noises. So we took it to the mechanic and we needed new brakes. We did the back brakes. We still need front brakes, but those are not as in bad shape, so we're going to wait a couple weeks and then we'll get those fixed. And then we probably are going to start looking for a different car. That car is actually my son's car, and we've been debating what we're going to do and what vehicles we would want to take with us when we go to Canada anyway, and that was not one of them. It's just kind of an old beater that we bought for my son to drive to school, which he didn't really need. We live close enough he could have walked, but he had a lot of stuff to carry. He was very involved in sports and things when he was in high school, and so we just bought that so he could use it. And It's been a good car. We didn't pay very much for it, but it works, and we haven't put that much money into it. And I was able to use it like during the winter when the weather got bad. My car sits very low to the ground, so, and it's a rear wheel drive, so it's not great in snowy or icy conditions. So when it got bad, I was able to use that one. But it's kind of served its purpose at this point. And while we're getting the brakes fixed, it also needs some other things done that I'm just like, we're going to end up putting more into it than we paid for the car, so it's not worth it. But then we have to figure out, are we going to place it with another beater? He doesn't really use it because he takes all of his classes online. So I'm trying to figure out, kind of what we want to do to either replace it or to figure out something else. So there's that. So we've had that going on. We did get the back brakes fixed, so now we can finish taking over the last couple of items that wouldn't have fit or didn't fit in our regular cars over to my daughter so she can have the rest of her stuff. She's kind of living out of cubes at the moment because we couldn't get that one piece. It was just big enough we couldn't fit it in anywhere else. So get that done and get that taken over there. And yeah, so just kind of had all that going on. We've been waiting all week for the mechanic to finish up with the car so we could finish up with all that stuff. And so yeah, there's been that. What else is going on? After I started this one, I realized I should have bought myself some square ABs. Pretty much most of my ABs are the ones that I bought for Diana, and Diana was around. So, and I really need to get better about planning which ones I'm going to do next, because then I can be thinking ahead for stuff like that and be like, oh, yes, I should order AB drills or whatever. I mean, I have some, but not very many. So, and planning ahead like that is always helpful, at least for me. So, okay, what color do I want next? I think I'll do the ABs down here with my pretty placer. My glue dots will pick up the ABs, but sometimes my glue dots actually just pull off the AB coating. And that's annoying because then I've just wasted my AB, right? Okay. Also, I don't know how people place with tweezers. I've tried it. I just end up with drills flying all over the place because I squeeze too hard. I've even tried using some of those reverse grip tweezers. Yeah, my brain does not work with those either, so I'm happy with my pretty placer. It works, and I've had this one for a year now, because this is pretty much all I use it for, is placing AB drills, so I don't have to sharpen it very often, so it lasts forever. I actually have another one that I've never used because I still have this one. So, okay, that's it for ABs in this section. Okay. My stickers still do not want to stick in some places on these little containers. I keep having to push them down so stuff doesn't fall off, because that's all I need is to confuse myself. So now that my daughter is basically moved out, my husband has been busy rearranging our entire house. The original plan was for him to basically make her old bedroom kind of his man cave. Well, then he decided, he bought a new desk and everything, which I thought the desk was going to go in the bedroom. And then he wanted me to go downstairs and look at it. When I go downstairs and look at it, it's in the living room downstairs. I'm like, why is it out here? I thought you were going to be in her room. Well, he just didn't know if he would like that, so he'd really rather be out here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, whatever. And I said, well, what are you going to do with everything else? Well, he's going to put the resin printers in the 3D printer. We have a 3D resin printer and a 3D filament printer, and he's going to put those in the bedroom. And I said, well, if I'm hanging diamond paintings down there, I don't know. That resin stuff is so strong. I don't know if I want to mess with having all those chemicals and everything in there. So I'll just keep all my diamond paintings upstairs. And he's like, no, 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 I don't want you to do that. He's like, so I'll put all the resin printers out here in our living room downstairs, which is where they've been before. There's a window down there, so he can open up the window to kind of let everything air out. Which there's a window in the bedroom too, but it's just a much smaller space. And since I'm hanging my larger diamond paintings down there, I really don't want to take the chance of messing them up because, of course, they're big, so they're expensive. And I had said, no, I'll just figure out something else. No, no, no. So now he's rearranging the entire downstairs. We've got like a little living room area set up down there with TV and some couches. So he's rearranging those to make more room for his computer and desk where he wants to put it. Now, we've had 2 big folding tables kind of out in the middle of the room down there because we used it for game nights back when we used to get together. We had a group of friends that would get together and we would play role-playing games. Haven't done that in forever. And once Corona hit, we had been doing it kind of online. And we actually find that it's easier to do it that way because nobody has to travel anywhere and we're all kind of spread out. So we all live in different cities. So it's actually just easier to do it that way anyway. So that's how we've been doing it. So we don't really need those tables. So what I've been using them for is that's where all my big diamond paintings live. I have that big TV size portfolio that I've told you guys about where all of my really big paintings live. Like if I decide not to frame this one, that's where this one will go. My Hannah Lynn, my Lenore, my Bird Woman, my Grandiose Grease, all of those, because I didn't frame them, are all kind of hanging out down there in that portfolio that is on that table. And then I also have another portfolio that, well, I have 2 actually. Okay, my cord here is making me crazy. Okay, I have 2 portfolios that are like 17 by 24 or something like that like my 30 by 50s or 40 by 50s can fit in. So those are all in there. And I have in this room my other portfolio, which is my small one, where like 30 by 40 and smaller go. But it's actually getting pretty full. I need to order another one probably, and it may go live down there so that will free up some space in here because it's on a shelf. So that would free up some shelf storage for me. And then we're going to move those 2 tables from out of the middle of the living room in there into the bedroom and just make it like a little diamond painting hangout. So not what we originally intended, but that's how it's going to work out. So it's all good. Okay, what do I need? Let's do number 7. Where's number 7? There's number 7. So again, not what I had intended, but it'll all work out. Get the last of the stuff to my daughter, so she'll be happy. And yeah, so he's busy today moving everything around, moving his computer to the basement and all of that fun stuff. I've been after him for quite a while to move it because it's been in our bedroom, and I'm just one of those people. I don't want TVs or computers or anything like that in our bedroom. We have our iPads because we both read. Well, I read before bed. He scrolls Facebook and looks at cars, basically, or stereos. But that's enough electronics for me. I really don't want more than that in our bedroom. And he moved his computer in there kind of out of necessity because we just didn't really have any other place to put it. When we were playing online, he wanted to be someplace where he could shut the door so that the kids could, move through the house and whatnot and not have to worry about being quiet for us. And that was really the only place to put it. So I'm happy it's leaving the bedroom, but we'll see how long it lasts. He's one of those people that he has to rearrange our furniture like once every 6 or 8 months. He doesn't like it staying the same for too long, which I'm okay with. I mean, it does make it nice and new. Just that he generally wants to move a bunch of electronics and stuff around too, which is annoying sometimes. So, but we make it work. So, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It is blowing a gale outside today. They're saying we're going to get wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour today, which is not all that unusual for us, but I mean, we don't get wind gusts like that all the time by any means, but it's not unusual for us to get wind gusts like that. So, but it sounds very windy outside. At least it's warm. It's not this windy when it's freezing cold. That's nice. Because I've tried to keep our heating turned down because natural gas prices were going to be insane. And our bill was still higher than I wanted it to be. So, not thrilled about that, but gotta have heat. So, at least for a little while longer. Hopefully, it won't be too much longer. I won't be turning on the air conditioning, which also means I need to get someone to come out and service our air conditioner before we turn it on. We didn't do that last year, and we ended up, during the height of summer, it conked out on us. Turned out we just needed more Freon, but still had to get somebody to come out and do that. In the height of summer, finding a air conditioning company that isn't booked solid is not easy. So after that, we just decided, we'll just go the easier route and have someone come out and service it before we have to turn it on, just in case. And then, oh my goodness, you guys, our house insurance is due at the end of this month. And I had budgeted for it, and I expected it to go up. I mean, because it always does. When does it ever go down? But holy shnikes, it went up $700. Now, we pay ours all at once, so I only have to pay it once a year. I was expecting, a couple hundred, maybe even 300, but 700. And my husband tells me that's because the price of lumber is still through the roof, and we have one of those policies that's a replacement one where basically if anything, destroys the house, they'll pay to rebuild it. So I get that, but man, there are days when I'm like, I wonder if it would be better just to not have insurance and take the chance. You know what I mean? Because all that money that we're paying for the insurance, yeah, if anything ever happens, then it would be good that we have it. But if nothing ever happens, then we paid all that money for nothing. I mean, we've lived here for almost 10 years. It's probably been longer than that, 12 years. So, I mean, it's nowhere near the peak cost of our house, so I guess I should quit complaining. And we can afford it, which not everybody can, so I should stop complaining. But yeah, it's just, man, doesn't anything ever get cheaper? Doesn't seem like it. And then after we pay house insurance, then we get to pay car insurance. So, although I guess on the flip side, that should be getting less expensive. Because, it gets less expensive as you get older, up to a certain point. Then you get old enough, they're like, should you still be driving? But right now, hopefully my kids now are no longer teenagers, and so hopefully that will go down somewhat. Maybe that'll make up or offset some of the stuff some of the increase in the house insurance. But we'll see. I think it should go down. Doesn't mean it's going to. Because again, insurance is crazy. Okay, so let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, my knee. You guys, it was to the point that I was like, you know what? I need to, I guess, go back to the doctor because it didn't seem to be getting any better. I was having days at work where I was just really sore after working all day. And going out to the playground and walking on the uneven mulch and everything just got to the point where I was like, I think I'm just going to have to stand outside the gate on the parking lot because I do okay on level ground, but that uneven stuff was just like my knee would be aching when I went home. Well, I went and did some research on, what causes bursitis flares, since that's what the doctor told me they thought I had. And I mean, basically everything I like to eat. Sugar causes inflammation, which can cause a flare. So, anything you eat that could cause inflammation. Sugar, gluten was a big one. Certain foods, you know. So gluten and sugar, sadly, knocks out about probably 2/3 of my diet because I eat terribly. And I'm a picky eater because I have texture issues. Like, it's not the flavor sometimes of the food, it's the mouthfeel of it that I just can't stand. Like, I don't mind the flavor of onions. You put onion powder in something or onion seasoning in something, I'm all over it. But to actually eat an onion, gross. Cooked or raw, disgusting. I like some fruit, but only raw. I can't stand any kind of cooked fruit. It makes it too mushy and it's ugh. So no, like fruit pies and stuff, I can't do that. I'll eat the crust, but I can't eat the actual fruit part. And of course, all of us eat probably too much sugar because sugar is in everything. And I try to get things that I try to stay away from high fructose corn syrup because that's not good for you. And I try not to eat too much sugar. I eat a lot of salad. So, but I finally said to my husband, I wonder if it is gluten because I'm a big bread and pasta eater and love, love, love bread and pasta. My two favorite things. I would exist on those if I could. And so I said, I hadn't eaten any bread for a week or so because we had run out and I just hadn't gone to the store and got any more. And like I said, I eat a lot of salads and stuff, so I didn't need it. And my husband said, well, why don't you try some of that gluten-free bread? So we got it. And we had it for a week or so. And I was feeling really good. I just one day woke up and thought, like I had been thinking, okay, I'm going to call my PT because one of the things I read said, when you get bursitis, because you don't use that joint, it can tighten up and get really stiff and you can lose your range of motion. So PT can help with that. And I thought, well, I wonder if I call him and I go back in and try and do some PT because I knew that joint was stiff and try and get it loosened up, maybe that will help. And so I said, okay, well, he, previously had given me some stuff to do at home. So I'm going to try to do some of that. And that happened to be the same week that I bought the gluten-free bread. And you guys, I'm actually almost feeling normal again. I went up and down the stairs today like a normal person using both feet, which hasn't happened in almost a year. And while I was stiff, it was not, oh my gosh, agony like it has been. So I don't know if it really is the gluten. I don't know if it's just been long enough that everything is finally kind of, I've given enough rest. I don't know, but it's feeling good. And so at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing the gluten-free thing for a little bit, see if that makes me feel any better, and see if I can get back to where I was. I'm seriously, if I'm feeling this good for the next couple of days, my son and I will get back to our regular walks, which would be amazing. And yeah, life can sort of go back to normal. Now, I know I'll always have to kind of watch it because it's one of those things where once you get it, it's just always there. So I will have to be careful of flare-ups and stuff. But I feel like if I can get a handle on it, and if I feel like, doing the gluten-free thing is actually helping, then yeah, whether it's in my head or not, if it works, I'm going to keep doing it. Because, if you think it works, then it does. And brains are funny that way. So, and I know my son is actually anxious to start walking again. He's asked me over the past 2 or 3 months, are you better yet? Are you better yet? Are you better yet? So hopefully this is a corner for me that I'm turning and I can sort of get my life back to normal, because that would be amazing. I was just telling my husband today, he injured his foot falling. So he actually has a hairline ankle fracture that they really can't do anything for. I mean, they could put him in a boot, but wouldn't really speed anything along. And it would just be probably more annoying. And so he's dealing with that. He strained his shoulder. So now he's dealing with that. Of course, he had his hernia surgery earlier this year. And let's see. Oh, and he had some hip x-rays because at one point he thought he was having some trouble with his hip. And my knee, my shoulder, I think I'm starting to get arthritis in my left shoulder. So, but I'm also wondering if there's not some bursitis in it as well, because it seems to have calmed down quite a bit as well. So when I was talking to my sister, she told me that my dad had issues with his left knee. And I knew he did when we were growing up. I remember him wearing braces, and like he would get to the point where he didn't even want you to touch it. It was so sore. And my sister was telling me that he would go in and have fluid drawn off of it. It would get so bad. And I was like, well, I don't want to get to that point, because to me, it's one of those things where if I go down that road, then like once you start doing it, you just have to keep doing it. And I don't want to be in that situation. So I'm going to do what I can to try and keep myself from getting there. I know arthritis runs in my family, so I don't know that I can avoid it, but I can at least do things to hopefully stave it off for a little while. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And I mean, my knee is still a little bit sore, but I actually, just going up and down the stairs today, oh my goodness, you guys, you have no idea. Like, you never realize how many times a day you do something like that until suddenly you can't. And then it seems like there's a million things that you're like, well, this is downstairs, this is upstairs, and I can't go up and down like I used to. And so things would just sit and wait until, I could slowly go up and down. So it would take forever if I did it, or I had to wait for someone to do it for me, which is annoying. I'm just not one of those people that kind of waits around for people to do stuff for me. So, yeah. Crossing my fingers that I am on the mend here, or at least maybe I've figured out what one of the culprits is and I can try and avoid it in the future. So it's been working so far, so knock on wood that it continues. So that's kind of the family update. Let's see. Oh, you guys, I just have a couple more things to tell you. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to continue to talk, but I follow a lot of different YouTubers, and I actually was going through my subscriptions this weekend because, I don't mind following someone if they take a break from YouTube or whatever. Usually, because it doesn't bother anything for me to leave them in my subscriptions. If they don't post anything, then they just fall to the bottom of my YouTube subscriptions, and who cares, right? I could be subscribed to a million channels and it would be fine. But I try to follow smaller YouTubers too, because again, I've always figured, if you have less than 5,000 subscribers, my follow is going to mean a lot more to you than someone who has 15,000 or more. Because let's be honest, by the time you reach that, you're not paying that much attention, because at that point, it's just kind of a numbers game. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to have 15,000 subscribers, but just the reality is you can't pay as much attention because the number just gets big. And anyway, so I was going through, and there were several smaller diamond painters that I was following, but who haven't posted in over a year. And I just thought, okay, if you haven't posted in over a year, then that to me means that you tried it, decided it was not for you, or, some life happened. And so, they may come back. And if they do, then I can catch up with them again at that point. But I was also listening to somebody's whip and chat, and I'm so busy right now with my own stuff that I don't spend a whole lot of time watching other people's whip and chats and diamond painting channels and that kind of thing. I should, but I don't have all the time in the world anymore. And certainly less time than I used to now that I'm doing my own channel. Plus, part of mine is I feel like if I watch too much of other people's stuff, then I start getting too lost in comparisons, which is bad for me. And also, I have other things I'd rather be doing with my time, is what it boils down to. Not that I don't think other diamond painters are good, but I just have other priorities at the moment. Anyway, I happened to be listening to this particular whip and chat, and I ended up not watching the whole thing because it just turned out to be a lot of drama, and I avoid that like the plague. Like I was telling my husband, I feel like everything would be better everywhere if people would just follow the don't be a jerk rule. Like, I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know why some people feel the need to cause drama. I don't know why some people feel the need to rehash drama. I don't want it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to be involved in it. I don't want to be anywhere near it. And it's always funny to me that when people talk about, drama, it's always somebody else causing it. They got sucked into it, but then they're saying they're talking about it. It's like, if you don't want to keep the problem going, just walk away, let it go. And maybe I find it easier to do that because of my own personal life experience. I was in a relationship for a long time with someone who has a personality disorder. And when you are around people like that, there's no talking to them. They live in their own reality, and it doesn't matter what you say, what you do. Everything gets warped. And the only way to win, and I use that term loosely, is to just walk away, because they don't live in the same reality that you do. Are never gonna, and you're never going to convince them of whatever. And I tried for a really long time to do that, and it just doesn't work. And so, I've learned after all that time that just for my own mental health, my own sanity, I have to just walk away. And Anyway, all that to say, just, guys, don't be a jerk. I was telling my husband we should make stickers that say that. Don't be a jerk. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to be kind to people, even if they're being jerks. Now, I'm not saying, let people be jerks to you. I'm just saying if someone is being a jerk, remind them nicely that they shouldn't be, and if that doesn't work, then walk away. They can't argue if you're not there to argue with. So, anyway, I might actually tell my husband. My husband does like vinyl decals and stuff for people, and I might have him make up a design. It won't say don't be a jerk. It'll say don't be a something else, but I think it would sell. So we'll see. I bet some of the guys he works with would buy it. He makes decals for them for their trucks and stuff at work. So he uses our cutting machine for that. He's actually made some of the decals that I send out in my random acts of kindness, my diamonds and stuff. He's made me some stuff for my car. Well, he's put stuff on all of our cars, basically. So my son had some sports stuff on his car. My husband has some stuff for his line of work on his car. I have diamond painting stuff on my car. My daughter has a lot of her anime manga stuff on her car. Manga, however you say that. So yeah, he has fun doing that. So let's see, where am I at? Okay, I still have a little bit of time. So let me pick another color, and then I'm going to get into my last kind of topic of the day today. And that is a giveaway. Guys, I kind of kept this one on the down low just because, while it's nice that people subscribe for giveaways, I don't want that to be the only reason that you're here on the channel. I mean, I love doing giveaways, don't get me wrong, but I want people who are interested in what I'm doing here on the channel as well, not people who are just here to get some free stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with free stuff, don't get me wrong. I like free stuff. But for me and what I want to do with the channel, I don't want that to be the only reason you're here. So, one other thing before I get to giveaways. My random acts of kindness, I'm trying to catch up. And I've just been having a really hard time getting to the post office. And even though we live in a small town, gosh, standing and waiting for the guy to do all the things and weigh everything at the post office just takes forever. And I'm just one of those people where, like, as soon as someone comes in and I feel like I'm holding up the line, I get frustrated because I don't want to keep somebody else waiting, which, I would wait on them if they were in front of me. So that's my thing, not theirs. Not that anybody has said anything or anything like that. And not that the people at the post office have been anything but kind. But I just thought, I wonder if there's a way that I can speed this up so I can get more of them out. And so I looked into different ways to basically kind of do the postage myself at home, and found a couple of different ways that I could have done it. But basically, yeah, I now have it set up so I can do my shipping and print all my labels and everything from home. So I don't have one of the fancy printers like they do and whatnot. But I can print it out on sticker paper, attach it to the packages, and then I just have to put packing tape over it so it won't rub off, because I'm not using a thermal printer. Although my husband offered to buy one of those for me. I just don't know if I want to go to that expense yet. Maybe if I end up doing some of the other things that I'm thinking about, I'm still seriously just trying to decide if I want to offer my logbook for sale. And if I do, if I want to do that on Amazon or Etsy, trying to decide if I want to, offer some of the other things, my storage stickers and things like that for sale. And how I want to do that. If I want to do an Etsy shop, if I want to open like a Shopify store and just do it myself. If I want to just offer digital downloads, because that's easier in the state that I'm in for sales tax purposes. And, I have other things that I'm interested in besides diamond painting. I do diamond painting stuff, but I'm also a planner, and I've gotten lazy. I was just on Etsy yesterday, and I needed to do some planning, get my planner set up for the next couple months. I had set up January, February, and March. But now that we're in March, I'm like, oh, I should probably just do the next ones. And it was like, do I want to spend the time to make them myself, or do I want to just buy them? And I was like, you know what? For time purposes, I'm just going to buy them. But I do have all kinds of templates set up, because at one point that was going to be, something I did on Etsy, and then life happened and it just didn't end up happening. And now I'm doing this. And so it's like, okay, but where do I want to go from here? Because, I don't know how big I'm going to be able to grow this channel just doing diamond painting. I've watched a lot of other channels, not all, but a lot of other channels branch out into other things like resin or cross stitch or crochet or whatever. And while I could do that, I don't know that that's something I want to do. So then it's a matter of, well, I would love to find enough kind of, they call them side hustles, but I don't really want them to be side hustles for me. What I want them to be for me is instead of hustles. So instead of, working for somebody, and not that there's anything wrong with that, there's a lot of pluses to not being the boss. But I want all of my hustles to be mobile, so that I can kind of do them from anywhere. Because one of the things my husband and I would love to do is travel around in an RV, whether while he's working or not, and then kind of document, maybe even have a YouTube channel for that. So, I'd like everything else I do to kind of be mobile as well. And so, we've been talking about that. Anyway, why did I get on this tangent? I don't know anymore. Anyway, so that was probably more than you needed to know. What you need to know is about the giveaway, which was what I was going to tell you, and I got off on a tangent. No, I don't know why. That's what happens when you get old, folks. Anywho, because I started talking about mailing and then I got off on a tangent. So now I can do hopefully my random acts of kindness better, because I can print things from home. And I also should be able to do some international labels and stuff from home. I don't know if I can do customs formed from home. I may have to go into the post office and do that. But anyway, I did the storage giveaway a while ago, you guys remember. And I gave away my Craftmates storage, and I gave away some other kind of storage. I don't remember now what it was. Craftmates and something. Oh, it was the bottle case. That's what it was. And I told you international people that, because that one was US only, that I would do one for you, and I'm doing it right now. So let me grab these, because I had them in boxes. I was trying to find boxes so I could box them up and ship them right away when the giveaway is over. So let me pull them out of the boxes real quick. So I'm going to be giving away this Tic Tac storage container, and I'm going to be giving away my Star Roar storage. I hope that is not too in your face, but the modular one. So I'm going to be giving both of those away. At some point in the future, I may do some Harbor Freight, but it is occupied right now. And so I'm going to hold off on giving that one away for now. So the Tic Tac storage container and the Star Roar. So here are the details, and you can find them in the description below. The details are, sorry, US folks, this is international only. So if you are in the US, you are not eligible. It is open as of the posting of this video, which is 6 a.m. on March 6th, 2022. And that's 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, because that's where I am, and that's when the video will post. It is open until 6 a.m. Monday, March 7th, 2022. And all you have to do to enter is leave a comment below with the storage that you would like, whether you would like the Tic Tac or the Star Roar, and tell me what country you're in. That's it. I will, when it closes on Monday at 6 a.m., I will go through all of the comments. I will do as I have done previously, enter everybody who is eligible in my little decision wheel app, and I will spin, and the winner will be chosen at random. And I will post a video on Tuesday, March 8th, that will have the drawing and the names of the winners. And then if you win, you just need to contact me and give me your mailing information, and I will get the items sent out to you. So there's the information on the giveaway. And again, if that was too fast for you, it will all be in the description box down below with all of the usual disclaimers. This is all me. These are all things that I have purchased. Nobody else is involved in this. Nobody else is liable for this, including YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So this is just me trying to do a giveaway for my international folks who got left out last time. And I feel bad about that, but yeah, not a whole lot I can do. So I'm doing this one for you international folks. And I will be doing some other giveaways at some later date. Hopefully by that point they will be open to everyone and not something where I feel like I have to say only international or only US or whatever. But you guys, shipping is so nuts right now. Who knows? At least I can figure it up from home. And now that I have the ability to ship from home, I can also go in and like check and see what some of the rates would be and kind of investigate and figure out what would be the cheapest way to do it before I get to the post office. So, because it's kind of crazy. So, yeah. So there's that giveaway. And yeah. I hope everybody has been doing well. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there because I obviously need to redo the wax in this pen and figure it out because it's being annoying. And also I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So I think that's it. So let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see where I'm at. So I made a little bit of progress, not a whole lot, but I am going to be working on this, like I said, the whole week of spring break. Hopefully my other pens will get here so I can go back to using my favorite tips because I really do love these for squares. They're so awesome. And I just haven't taken the time. I could be using them right now. I just haven't taken the time to find a pen that they will fit in nicely. I tried them with a couple of pens and they just didn't work the way I wanted to. So, and also I have steel tips on most of my pens, and so I've avoided like taking the steel tips out to put in those, but I think I need to do that because it actually would make things go a lot faster, I think. So anyway, all of that is neither here nor there. What I want to say is thank you all for joining me If you're international, don't forget to leave a comment below with the kind of storage you want, either the Star Roar or the Tic Tac container and your country of origin. You have to have those two things, which container you are interested in and your country of origin, to be eligible. So make sure you include both of those. And yeah, thanks so much for joining me, guys. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads, like whether or not you're a winner of this giveaway. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching.